And it's the same thing with talking in public speaking as well, because then eyes are on you. And I hate people, like I completely hate people.
I know.
No people.
I just got used to my wife now. I can't. It's so difficult. So I have to actually mentally like flip a switch and say I'm going to be doing content now. Because like a lot of brands hire me and I do like events.
Yes.
And I don't like people. I don't like public. I don't like noise. And then I get hired to do a fucking gig. And then I have to like mentally put it on, and then I'm like, and then I'm fine.
Yeah.
But it's tiring. It drains me. Oh my god, it drains me so hard. But it's something.
When I see you film content, I don't see a switch flick.
Oh yeah, it's automatic. It just
because the person I see on camera for you is the person I know.
Oh no, that's not me.
You reckon?
No. Like I'm a moody motherfucker. I'm old. I'm moody. Like
it is true. You know how long it took me to be his friend? Time,
he lured me. I used to buy electronics from his store, and then he stalked me. It was weird.
Yeah, I stalked him, and I thought he was going to buy a house that I wanted to buy as well. And I was like, "Hey, man, I also once wanted to buy that house. I can show you all the cool things that I've learned about it." Yeah. And that's the first interaction we ever had on Twitter.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And then later on, we dabbled in electronic stuff. But,
I owe you money for a breakfast wrap.
You do.
But
anyways.
But yeah.
What?
Yeah, no, before we do the introductions, I was just thinking like, welcome, Mr. Flak.
Hello.
Mr. Flak. For those who don't know, well-known SA YouTuber, and Brendon Maartens, also well-known SA YouTuber.
Oh, yeah, damn right. Aspiring. Yeah, for me, who am I? My name is Brendon. I run an electronics company, commonly known as Netram, one of the most popular electronic companies in the country. But other than that, I do also do some content creation as well. I'm going to chat a bit more about content creation. Yes. But like Flak actually said the other day, I was like, so I make content, but I haven't found my audience yet. So I haven't really, and that's the one thing. A lot of guys will make a lot of cool content, and they'll start to get very good at it, and then they'll give up because they don't find their audience that latches onto their content. Yes. Like Flak's content, he's good at making content, and his audience loves it, and that's really important.
And he's found his audience.
And he's found his audience. Yeah. And once you tap into that, now I can see like any idea you have, you're like, oh, I wonder if I should post this. I wonder if they'll dig that. I can see it click in your head. I was gonna be like, damn, I wish I had an audience or following, because I know some guys that they would find this super interesting, but I don't know how to tap into that.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that, because somebody once when I was trying out said something very interesting, and they said the only people that fail are the ones that give up.
100%.
Like there's so many big YouTubers that tried for like 10 years with nothing, and then overnight popped. And you just need your pop, you just need that click.
That's true.
And
you need that one thing to go viral, and it blows up the stuff around it.
I mean, a perfect example is this guy, also a South African YouTuber, Con, and he's way bigger than me. He was on like 40,000 subscribers for 9 years.
Sure.
And he tweeted last night.
He just capped at 40K.
He just didn't move. Yeah. He made little tutorials, and he posted and he said, I only released 28 videos last month.
I think I saw that post.
I'm like, I release one every 2 months. Like the fact that you made, because he does tutorials. So when a new game comes out, he hops on it and he just pumps out content. So he goes with the quantity, not the quality.
Yeah, so I was going to ask how I've never seen his videos. What's the quality of his videos? Are they shorts or are they like long form?
Respectfully, Con, if you watch this, they're shit. But they have a purpose. They have a purpose. They have a purpose, because like if a new game comes out and you don't know how to do something, Con's the guy that tells you where to find that magic wand or how to fly on a broom. He does quick, useful things. So
it's not like a big elaborate tutorial. It's just like
his type of content doesn't require quality. He doesn't require. He needs information and he needs it fast, and he's very good at that. So the content that I like to consume is obviously laced with quality, but that's not his thing. It's the same as a news channel. Their thing is news. They're not going to be entertaining. They're going to be news. It's just their niche, and his niche is quick, useful content.
Got you.
And it works for him, because he got 4 million views last month, which is huge. I get like 100,000.
So he's like a manual basically. He's like he's like easy manual access. Like just sit on his channel. It's like, oh, next day.
But that's the thing. He's found the audience now. Let's tap into that.
And he would have less retention from a video. So he's got 160,000, 170,000 subscribers, but his views get 20,000 per video, for example.
Okay.
And it's because not everyone plays the games that he's covering. So that game that just came out now, Starfield, he'll pump out Starfield, but the people that subscribe to him might be from Stardew Valley, a little simple 2D game, and have no interest in Starfield. So then he won't get their return, but he just does traffic, so it doesn't matter. He just pushes and pushes, and he becomes that tutorial guy. Like, I use his videos personally, not because he's my friend, but because the content that he makes.
Got you.
And when I play a new game, I use it.
I don't want to jump on that quickly. I don't have any question, but I want to talk about that for a second, because that's almost like how variety streamers work. Variety streamers are very difficult, and also YouTube variety content creators, because it's just, you have to tap into all these tiny little markets, and it's not focused on that one niche audience.
It's a lot easier to grow in one specific category. It's easier to grow as I'm a Rust gamer versus I'm a variety gamer. However, the variety gamer has a longer lifespan because there's always new games coming out.
But people get attached to the character, the person who is talking to you.
Hopefully.
Behind the game.
Hopefully find the audience that's like attached to. So when people watch this, people will start to understand Jody when you talk and what you stand for, what you do and don't like. Just like if someone watched Joe Rogan or something like that, people will start to look at Joe Rogan and his guest.
Oh, it doesn't matter who the guest is.
Doesn't know who the guest is. You know, it could be some guy from France who does whatever, another guy who's from the military. It doesn't really matter.
But the character
they're looking at, you know,
that's it.
That.
But yeah, before we jump into the questions, I know the guys, like, you guys are obviously new to the channel, so like just two simple questions, like what is a goal for Mr. Flak and Brendon this week?
This week
coming.
What's your goal?
You first.
Survive.
Yeah. Survive what?
Survive the plethora of stuff we have to deal with. No, I'm kidding. This week is there's a lot of business stuff happening this week. So and a few videos I actually want to get out this week. So there's a few content videos I want to make around the Nintendo Switch. Other than that, just survive the work week and make sure we can get through it. But nothing else, man. It's just general work stuff, man.
How do you plan to survive? Do you have your techniques, or you just
look, I'm very practical in that sense, where it's like I take a day at a time. So I don't really have any like real techniques that says we need to do X, Y, and Z. I don't plan as much as I should. Like, you seem like a guy who plans a lot.
I do.
Yeah, you do.
He's so positive though. It's like, it's disgusting. Sometimes you just want to be miserable. He's like, "Hey Flak, how's it going? Come for coffee."
Yeah, like, he looks like he just wings it, and then it's just how it works out. Like, that guy is never stressed.
Be sad. I'm miserable. He's like always like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Hey man, I mean, to be honest, I wish that's kind of a goal. Like, as long as people who walk around be like, "Hey man, it's that happy guy all the time." Oh, it's that guy who's always like smiling all the time.
But behind the smile, is there a different feeling?
Oh man,
that you're having
here and there. No one can always be happy.
Yeah.
No one, that emotion doesn't exist all the time. It's always fleeting. No one, we have to have ups and downs.
Yeah.
If you can't, I mean, the cliche trite is that if you don't have like a really bad low, you can't experience a good high is.
Yes.
You know, so we know.
It's so true.
We know how everything is just like yin and yang and black and white when it comes to that thing. But on the surface, what we could do is we could just portray that we're always happy, so that people around us
can feel that energy,
yes. And then, you know,
100%.
It expands, man. You got to just be stoked.
Yeah, I go the opposite. So I get miserable so that people can leave me alone.
So you're the opposite. So you're the yin thing.
Yes, that's why we're friends.
Makes
sense. It works so well.
Yeah, that's a good balance.
What's your goal for the week, man?
I don't know.
The
thing is, it's very difficult for me now because I've gotten to a stage where I don't like work.
Okay.
And it's very difficult to not work because a lot of my day-to-day like functionality stopped. Because like I don't get excited for Friday anymore because I'm always on the weekend. So I don't dread Monday. I don't look forward to Friday. So it took away, not having a job has taken away a lot of my I would say like my clock.
To be fair, you kind of want to elaborate because we don't have a homeless guy or a jobless guy in the studio.
Yeah.
No.
We do have a full-time YouTuber.
It doesn't have like a 9 to 5.
No, I do things and stuff like that, but I just don't have a need to plan. I don't have a need like it's just I sometimes wake up and like, is it weekend? And then no, it's not. I got to take my daughter to school, and it's very directionless to not have a place to be every day. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you did.
Like, if I don't want to do anything, I just like lay in bed and watch Netflix. And it's
the structure. There's no real structure.
No structure, and it's quite hard. I'm very lucky.
Which part is that?
There's a lot of people who are going to watch this and they're going to be like, "What an absolute asshole!"
No, I'm not trying to be a dick about it. I'm very grateful for the situation I find myself in, but I have lost a lot of my motivation because I don't have
No,
the
I get
thing.
it. Totally.
I used to be like a sparky guy, and I wake up at 5 in the morning, go for a cold swim, and get to work and watch the clock, and it was very stressful. But it had a purpose. Everything was structured, and now it's like it's not. And it's nice because I get a lot of leisure time, you know, a lot of gardening, a lot of like fucking weird shit I can read and stuff.
But you can do things you want to do.
I can.
Yeah.
It just feels like that. You know what? There are millionaires in the world, billionaires, that are like exhausted and tired and sad, and you think to yourself, how can a billionaire be sad?
All that money. Yeah.
All that money. But like you drive a Lamborghini. They buy a Lamborghini, right? And you drive it, and it's the coolest shit ever. You lose your mind, like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then like after 3 months, you're like, well, I mean, it is nice, but it's a Lamborghini. And then after a year, you're sick of the car. I mean, when you first drove your BMW, you probably shat your pants.
It was the greatest feeling of my life.
And now it's like it's a commuter.
Yeah,
you
now it's my daily. Yeah.
And I feel like people shouldn't get too comfortable ever. When I stopped working, I was so happy, and then it was just like, now what? I don't think humans ever can be fully satisfied. Like in a place of
that moment is fleeting.
It is fleeting, and it's weird because I think like that means that a person always has to be changing. You can never get too comfortable.
Always got to adapt to something new.
But like, yeah, when you said when you stopped working, right? But you don't really stop working, right?
No, I do.
Because
but like
when you stopped working, didn't you pick up and do something else?
Yeah, I did. Like
so
YouTubing.
that's what I'm saying.
It's true.
Yeah.
But like it's video games, and that used to be my leisure, but now it's my job.
I can attest to that because when I started, well, I didn't start NetRam, my brother started NetRam, but when we started doing electronics stuff, we really love electronics.
Yes, like as a love.
A love, like that's all we wanted was like make cool stuff, and like that's all we wanted to do, right? And then when we eventually started selling the stuff we were making and selling the products that other people could make, eventually this became an admin job, and now I was like, I'm not having a lot of fun doing this thing that I loved so much.
It's very dangerous to turn your passion into your work.
Because you're turning it from what you love into now I'm reliant on it for money. And now it's like, now when you attach those two, and you have survival and what you love, now it's like...
You don't get that same energy, right?
You don't get that same energy.
So true.
So you have to find that balance between... I don't want to use that super cliche line, you know, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, you know.
Bullshit.
Like, cool, I get it, right? But like, I don't want to use that line, but you have to find a balance between those two things. Because if you're reliant on your survival for that thing, you now start to clash.
There is a dude in this world, right? There's a dude, and his job is to photograph women for Playboy magazine.
Got you.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's his job. And he hates it. Every morning he wakes up and he's angry and he has to go take photographs of beautiful women in certain, states of dress, and he can't stand it. And for a typical dude, it sounds like something that they really want to do. But like,
I really have to take pictures of this girl in like crop tops.
But it's weird when you have something you don't really appreciate it. It's like having a swimming pool. You get people who say, "Oh, I wish I had a swimming pool," but people who do have swimming pools, they barely
we take it for granted.
We take it for granted.
Perfect example. I've got a swimming pool, and all my mates want to come over and swim, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna clean it, chemical."
Same.
But
it's true. It's so true.
I'd hate to get deep on that because someone said this. I don't know who it was, but you know, we had that submarine thing that blew up into the ocean or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it is.
Can you imagine? How many people in there? 6, 8?
8.
Was it 8?
In that submarine, right?
8
with a kid. There was a kid.
And you're going down, and you'll do anything to get out of that sub. Who said this? I don't know who said this. You'll do anything to get out of the submarine. You'll do anything. You'll give up all your money. You'll do anything to get out of that sub.
Yes.
Okay. But the moment you're out of that sub,
that feeling goes away.
Yeah. And we just take it for granted. You know, you get into a really stressful situation. You'll do anything to be out of that situation. You don't want to do this anymore. And when you find out of that, 4 days go by. It's like, it's just another day. You know.
Screw poor people.
No, but anyways,
that is nuts.
Last intro question. we've introduced enough. We're still intro.
No, we talk crap at this, but I thought we were going to come and talk crap, bro.
Okay.
No, that's what we do. That's what we do. But besides each other, like, is there any other person in your guys' lives that you are thankful and grateful for, and why?
I'll go first.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Go for it.
My wife.
Shout out to wife.
My wife.
Shout out to wife.
Kids are okay. I'm joking. No, I'm very grateful for my family. Very, very grateful. They are my everything.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with strong family ties.
Okay.
Like me and my family hate each other to this day. But when I made my own family, like I actually got a taste of family. Okay. So very, very grateful for my family and my friend, Brendon.
And your friend, yeah.
And my interviewer and my singer. I don't know what you do. Thank you.
For me, probably I mean, that's a really tough question to answer because there's so many people,
Of
right?
course.
But I mean, obviously, who has the most impact in my life right now is probably my brother, because
Shout out to
he's been,
your
yeah.
brother.
If I was to shout out to Jared, he's been my OG for so long. We're 10 years apart. You've met Jared.
Yeah,
I
he's
think, at the
closer to
gym.
my age.
From
Yeah,
China.
he's close to Flak's age, but he's taught me a lot. And one thing he taught me is perseverance. Like, never ever give up, because the guys who give up are the guys who fail, right? If you don't give up, you don't fail.
Mhm.
Same thing.
So true.
So he's taught me a lot of perseverance. So shout out to him, man. I really appreciate him. Yeah.
And he's sexy.
Sexy man. He's quite hot.
Good, he's a good guy.
We'll be getting him in shape at the moment, bro.
Is this why you're friends with him?
Well, I mean,
for the
you know,
brother.
it's the entry point.
Yes.
It was never about me. It was about
But a big question that I have, especially for Flak, and Brendon, you can definitely answer as well. The difference between SA YouTubers and international. What are SA YouTubers missing? What is that missing ingredient? Why do we not have enough SA YouTubers or big ones?
I would have to probably say funding within the industry.
Okay.
There's way less opportunities in South Africa than international. They deal with multi-million rand contracts. Here we get, a 20,000 rand campaign here and there.
Okay.
So it's a lot less to fight for. But also another problem with South African YouTubers is they get very they think they're a lot bigger than what they are.
Oh, is it?
There's a lot of ego. There's a lot of fighting
amongst each other.
So
Yeah.
lack of support.
Lack of support. There's a
Yeah.
lot of fighting, a lot of factions, a lot of cliques.
Yes.
And they're fighting for a prize pool that is big enough for everyone.
Yes.
Everyone can get a slice.
Yeah.
And they're almost like they're competing when they don't need to. They can just do their thing, have each other's backs and grow, but then they start getting ugly with each other. And also South Africa's full of racists. Holy fuck, there's so many racists. So many, and a lot of the white creators don't understand their privilege. I hate to use the word privilege, but they don't understand their privilege, and they don't understand the situation. So you get groups of white people fighting coloreds, and then groups of coloreds that are super, and it's just me and Brendon were talking about it earlier. There's constant fighting in our industry.
Yeah.
With just different groups, and this one says his opinion, and it's purely just an opinion, and another entire category starts fighting him and cancelling, and I just kind of sit back, probably because I'm mixed race, but also because I don't want my identity to be a person of color. I'm a person of color creator. No, I'm a creator.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a labeled, oh, you got this opportunity because you're not white. Or and it's come on, man, fuck. I just want people to make good content. The content creators that I follow are men and women, black and white, and everything in between. And I don't ever identify a sex, a gender, a religion.
You're not following for that.
Do you make something funny that I like watching? Yes, I'll watch it. I mean, I'll watch a Jewish creator, a Muslim creator, or Christian. It doesn't make a difference.
Yes.
And people wear their religion, their race, their genders on their sleeves a little bit too much, and it becomes them.
It becomes the identity.
Yeah. I just like good creators. A perfect example is I follow a guy named Stimpy on
I think I've heard of him.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Very funny, fantastic. And his girlfriend started doing what he does.
What does he do? So
he does meme content. It's just basically
gaming stuff, right?
Lots of gay jokes. Yeah.
Gay jokes.
Yeah, he's always just I'll suck your dick, man. In game, he's very weird. But his girlfriend started doing that, and because she's a girl, a lot of people bully her,
a girl in gaming,
you're trying too hard, and she makes really good freaking content. So I watch her too. I don't have to. Oh god, it's just so hard to explain what I'm feeling inside.
We could go off on a tangent with this because Black and I talk about this a lot. How even a review of a movie or a video game can change someone's opinion like this. So when they finally see that game or use that game or watch that movie, they're thinking about the review before they've even watched it.
They hate the movie before they watched it.
Exactly. And it happens all the time. You watched something last night?
Yeah, I watched The Nun.
You watched The Nun.
It's that. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys watch horror movies?
I did watch The Nun.
I don't watch horror movies.
The latest one?
The one when there's this monastery in.
Number 2 came out last night.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I watched part 1 and it was terrible personally.
Okay, but number 2 is a lot better.
Okay.
But I don't know, as a horror fan, don't you feel like people's expectations of horror is way too high?
Yes.
Like they're expecting too much jump scares. For me, too much jump scares is a problem.
It ruins it.
It ruins everything.
The best horror movies are when you barely get to see the bad guy or the creature.
Or the tease.
Yeah, the psychological
yes.
torture.
I don't know if you watched Insidious 5.
No.
No, there was a bit of that. There was 5 of them. There was a bit of that, and I like that as well.
Okay.
Yes. Do you know Patrick Wilson?
Yes.
Yeah. So now it is his directorial debut.
Oh.
In Insidious 5. Yeah. He directed it, and he was the main character.
Thing is, it's so hard. Brendon said it perfectly that people jump on board with an opinion before
actually watching the product or actually engaging with it
or anything.
Yes.
There was this thing recently with this guy named Boxy.
Oh jeez.
and
I'm not touching this.
Like, you know what?
Don't touch anything.
I'm not touching
I
this.
actually can edit this out because this is going to be a long. I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, don't go there because we go on a tangent.
But I feel like a large part of the problem is there's cancel culture.
Yes.
There is a fear of cancel culture. People aren't the same anymore. And I feel like in 2018 you could be a different version of yourself than you can now. You have to be very, very careful now not to upset people.
Yeah.
And me and Brendon spoke about it the once. It's got to do with the fact that people are bored. People there's too much convenience. Like back in the day, if you wanted to watch a really good movie, like let's call it 10 years ago, let's go to the cinema.
Yes.
Now you put your TV on and there's 15 streaming services and one of them's got the movie. Back in the day, if you wanted food, you had to phone the pizza delivery guy and he would come, or you'd have to go fetch a Spur burger. That was the only choice. Now you open your phone and you can have any meal you want in the country.
That's so true.
So eating, relaxing, social, even talking to people nowadays, you can reach them on 20 different mediums on your phone. Everyone has so much convenience in their life now that they are looking for something to do. That's why there's always little clicks and little fights and because people are bored.
Yeah.
People are just unfulfilled and bored, and that's the biggest problem in both the South African and international scene is that particular thing. There's too much tension.
Yeah, I think to boil down the question that you asked about why international guys are more successful than South African. I mean, I'm not in the league that Flak's obviously is. I can't say too much about it, but I think a lot of it comes down to, and it's not just a YouTube thing. It's a South African mentality in general, is that we don't like to support South African products or South African based content. So true. It's very strange. And I even know this from even creating brands and stuff like that. As soon as it has like some kind of South African tinge to it, it was like
connotation.
But the moment it gets international recognition, suddenly South Africans love it.
Then they hop on board. Our boy made it.
Exactly.
You actually told me the story the other day. The Unfood. Perfect
example of that. Like when they came out, like the first song where they came out, it was very South African, but the tune was cool. It was catchy. The guy can rap better than anyone in South Africa I've ever seen.
But hardly anybody followed.
No, it was like everyone just dissed it. Like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. And then they went into Germany and they sold out stadiums.
And then
all South Africans came back. Everyone loves them now because they got international recognition. It's like only if we get the stamp of approval from the Western side do we like that content. And I don't know what it is. Maybe this is not exclusively a South African thing. Maybe other countries struggle with this as well. But I don't know.
No, but it is a support thing because if you look at, I'll take for example, I'm just going to use anything, and I know of friends, for example, small businesses. Let's say you release clothes like hoodies and that. 10 to 1, your friends, your price will be cheap. Let's say it's 300 Rand for a hoodie, right? Your friends will still ask you for a discount.
Oh, God.
A friend or family discount. But the minute a well-known brand releases something that's probably worth 1.3, they will pay that much.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
So where's the support in our friends and family alone? I mean, you also mentioned the other day when you spoke about YouTube following, you asked me the question, how much of those followers that you currently have are your friends and your family? It's so true. And I looked at it and I'm like,
it's more strangers and acquaintances.
It's strangers and acquaintances. It's terrible. You look at your following on Instagram, Facebook. You look at your following on YouTube. Well, okay, not yours right now, but for us, that's starting. It's smaller. Then it's like, shit. How much of those people are actually my friends and family? It's sad. And it's really sad.
But it's at the moment. But I think this is a known thing. When someone's trying to break through, they're going to change. People don't want to support it because the person they know right now is going to die away and someone else is going to take over their place.
Yeah, but it's sad because it's your own friends and family that's not supporting you now.
Yeah, totally.
Now when you blow up, now everyone wants to jump on board. Oh, that's my cousin. Oh, that's my... It's sad. It's sad because now it's like, you as that individual, how are you supposed to feel?
Well, when you started making videos, didn't you get kicked back from friends and family?
God, no one supported.
And now?
And now, like, people are like, can I make a loan?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Can I get some cash, bro?
Yeah, like I got told by my mom, like, you're out of your fucking mind to quit your job on YouTube. Are you insane? What about your mortgage? And then, like, and now it's like, cool, my son's a YouTuber. You should follow him.
But how do you handle that? Like, especially like, let's say families, let's say like cousins and stuff like that. How do you handle that now that they want to know you or acknowledge you?
So very few people in my family know what I do. Like the close ones do, but I try and keep my YouTube life and my personal life completely separate. So when I started YouTubing, I deleted all of my personal presence.
Oh, your presence.
No, I deleted all my Facebooks. All my, so if you search my human government name or slave name, you won't find anything on the internet for my slave name.
And no one knows it. To this day, no one knows the slave name.
Yeah.
I just know him as Mr. Flak. That's all you introduced me to.
Exactly.
That's what you introduced me to. You know my name.
Of course I do. Okay. So I'm one of the few who know his name, but even then I forget it because he's Flak. Flak's Flak.
Yeah.
Flak is Flak.
And I think that really, really helped with because people just had I see people from my high school. Yeah. And they thought I was dead, which is great. It's phenomenal. And I drive like a really shitty car. I never wear nice clothes. So I don't want to be in people's mouth. I don't want to be in people's mind. I just want to do my thing, exist quietly.
I like that.
I think when you get big and you're well known and everyone knows you, and then the coffers start coming, and
it's an expectation.
It's an expectation, and then you're always wanted and desired, and I don't have the energy for that, dude. I just want to be left alone.
Yeah.
So I would say that would be a good thing to do. Be anonymous once you get big, and
because then if you're anonymous, it's hard to say. It's hard to start from zero. But if you're void from the judgment, you're void if you make mistakes because you're unknown. You're like if you have to move country and start a YouTube channel and no one follows you from the previous country. You can recreate your whole self, and you can make a fool of yourself.
Nobody's gonna know.
No one's gonna care.
A perfect example is when I quit my job. Everyone called me an idiot. They said, "You stupid." Blah, blah,
of course, all the negative.
And my wife was like, "Fuck that job.
That's awesome.
It's dumb."
Shout out to Anna,
and she was like supporting
That's amazing.
Yeah, she was 17 when we started dating. I was 20.
Wow.
And we had nothing. So everything I have in life now, I'm like, that's her. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Needed that.
But when I quit, everyone the people at my old work always used to ask my wife, because my wife worked at the same place I worked. What is he doing? What is he doing? And they would keep on poking
to see if he made it or not.
Dude, I went to the office the other day to go fetch my wife, and one of my old co-workers who got very miserable once I left my job, he was very angry at me for some reason. I don't like to use the word jealousy, but he was very angry when I stopped working there and I started gaming. And then I told him, I recently got a job, because I did recently get a job as a consultant for a UK-based game development company.
That's awesome.
And I told him I got a job, and he was so excited. He's like, "Oh, so you don't do YouTube anymore?" I'm like, "No, it's a consulting thing."
But why that excitement?
He got excited when he thought that I maybe failed.
What a weird psychology there.
That's weird, eh?
So fucking weird, because I love it when people succeed, dude. I think it's
same. I love it.
Love it.
But people, it's amazing how much people don't.
Very ugly.
Yeah.
I hate that people are ugly like that. But I told him, no, don't worry, I'm not coming back to work here. And then it immediately looked miserable again. Sat up and then he's miserable. I was like, well, fuck you, bro.
It's kind of a reflection of his own. He's like, well, I hope, because I can't make it, I hope no one else can.
I hope you see this, Rian.
Love it, Rian. But yeah.
No, it's true. And I actually have, because Mr. Flak, I actually spoke to a few of my buddies.
Cool.
So yeah, there's one or two guys who are gamers who do know you and follow you.
Yeah.
So there was two questions that they asked.
Please.
The one is your first video game ever played that got you hooked on the gaming industry.
Cool question.
That is a great question, and that would be Final Fantasy IX.
What?
Yeah. And up until Final Fantasy IX, I never loved gaming with my soul. I played lots of games, but the first game that hooked me and took my life. When you lose 100 hours to a game for the first time, was Final Fantasy IX,
and it's like a single player RPG, man.
Yeah.
Turn-based RPG.
I didn't mind the turn-based. I really didn't mind, but the fact that there was this world up until that
Oh, I
point.
think it was. Yeah, okay. It was the fantasy part of it.
Beautiful world.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're talking about, but
No, I know. Like,
Yeah, this is our part of the podcast.
okay, picture it's like a gym, right? And there was like so many different kinds of ways.
Yeah, exactly. And you can just explore any
I'm
way
listening.
you want.
I don't know what you like. No, it was the first time that it blew my mind to realize how big gaming actually could be. Because up until that point, Mario Brothers jumped. It was very simple. And then when I played Final Fantasy 9 on PlayStation 1, storytelling, fantasy, and I was like, this is like my life now. And I never stopped loving gaming from that moment. So Final Fantasy 9 was the moment that...
That's so interesting from like someone who does like Rust content and FPS content.
I love RPGs.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah. And RPGs is for...
RPGs is role-playing games. So RPGs are role-playing games. If anyone a gamer, they kind of understand what role-playing games are.
Me and my wife do role-playing games.
Yeah, I can imagine, bro. But I'm going to keep that to a different podcast. But yeah, RPGs are role-playing games. Yeah.
We'll put that rating. What's the PG thing?
PG.
Is it swearing? Yes. The next one. What keeps you motivated to continue to push out content?
Oof.
It's a tough one.
Sure, yeah. To be 100% honest, I don't know. I'm currently not motivated to do more. Like I said, I recently got a job as a design consultant for a UK, Norway-based tech games developer, and that's sort of wanting to take me on a different idea. I think you can get sick of everything. Like I mentioned, the Playboy photographer.
Yes.
You can get sick of everything, and I'm approaching the end of my excitement for YouTube. I mean, I've been doing it for 8 years. It's been going. But if I was to branch out into maybe the game development industry, I wouldn't mind. So I don't think that I need to stay motivated. I think I need to stay doing things.
Stay consistent? Stay consistent. Just keep going.
But you're evolving into the same space you've always loved.
Yes.
Which is a different... It's still... you might be producing content all the time, but you're still doing the things you love in a different form.
That's true. In fact, the place that I'm working for, they're doing work for them, I'm going to be making their marketing material. I'm going to be making videos.
Nice.
So I guess...
It's still going to be content.
It's
still
content.
Yeah.
It's just in a different
form.
capacity. Yeah. So I am motivated to continuously learn something at least.
Okay, that's good.
But I feel people get stagnant because with YouTube, when you blow up, it's very easy to make money. So you just do a little bit of work and you get an absurdly large amount of money. And it takes a lot of the motivation away because why do I need to do anything more? I could just continue doing this thing. Money will come in.
Yes.
And I don't think a person should ever, stay the same. They should always evolve.
Have to evolve.
Essentially. Yeah. So I hope I answered. I probably did.
No, I think you did. Okay. Yeah, this is my question. As a SA content creator, do you find it difficult to find support from your... I mean, we touched on it earlier, but to find support from your fellow South Africans, then international. Well, this definitely applies to you. I'm sure you've got from those... Jeez, he's got a couple of K's supporters, guys, if you don't know.
100 and something subs?
105K subs, Mr. Flak. Your support between international and SA.
So I can fully see the support overseas is a lot bigger. The gaming scene is a lot bigger. So like 80% of my audience is American.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nuts, dude.
Yes, and it was way higher. There was only very few percentage of South Africans that knew about me, and I would say the international support is way bigger than local.
Okay.
Because almost like local, they want you to fit into a certain category, a certain box. They want you to be Zef, like die antwoord, and you have to be. And I don't. I've got a very neutral accent. I can speak to an American, a British person, an Indian, an Australian. Everyone gets me, so I can fit into anybody's category of what they like.
Yes.
Even in your videos, because I found you way before we met. A friend of mine was a player of Rust, and he's like, "Oh, check this guy's content," and I saw, and then I watched it initially on mute, and I was like watching you do stuff. Like, okay, cool. And then he's building this one now. Okay, cool. And then I unmuted. And I was like, wait a second. I know this accent.
Oh, wow.
This accent sounds very. But you can hear South African accent like this. If your ears are tuned to it, you can.
So
it's immediate, right?
A lot of people said I don't sound like a South African.
But you didn't. Initially, I was like, hang on, that sounds strange. Why? And then I clicked, and then I went to your Instagram, I went to your Twitter, and I was like, okay, this guy's South African. And then I started stalking.
And then you started stalking me.
And then now we're here, bro.
Now we're here.
Yeah, but that's why. But that's an interesting concept that your whole most of your following is international.
And it's cool. It's cool, and it's.
I think that also helped a lot with my getting my brand deals and stuff, because the Americans, their budgets are way bigger, like way bigger, and the locals are a lot smaller, and they want you to do a lot more for the value.
For less, yeah.
A perfect example is Raid Shadow Legends. I don't know if you know the mobile game Raid Shadow Legends.
You see that advert all the time.
I see the advert.
It's a meme.
Yeah.
So Raid Shadow Legends will pay you to put a 90-second slot in their video, 8,000 US.
Which is what, 150?
What is it now?
Yeah,
Times 20?
150 odd K.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's under 20
in rands.
Yeah.
So they'll give you 150,000 Rand to put in a 60-second slot in your video. And then like a company like Samsung South Africa want you to do 18 tweets, 17 Instagram reels,
bro.
A campaign. They want you to basically go wash the CEO's dog.
And sponsor,
and then
and what is the sponsor?
It's like 25 grand. You know, it's like it's so like if I had one recommendation for any viewer is try and get an international audience and not local. Yeah. Once you identify yourself as a local and you only do local gigs, you got to branch out across the world. The internet is good because it lets you connect to anybody.
Yeah, I mean,
audience can be anybody.
And you're not throwing shade to a brand like, let's say, Samsung.
No,
it's just like the brands.
It's just their budget.
It's just their budget. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Maybe for them to do better.
It's a perfect example. Is that company I'm doing work for? They pay me in dollars, and it is like for them it's normal, but for me it's like whoa, life-changing amounts of money. It's just that we cannot compete with that exchange rate.
Yeah. The biggest thing that is leveraging the dollar.
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting at 19 rand 20 right now.
Yes.
You know,
Samsung pays really, really good if you only worked in South Africa and you only did. Then they paid really. They pay really good.
Yeah.
But I know what the internationals pay, so it doesn't seem as good. But you know, I also want to be identifiable in a local scene, so I want to do local campaigns. And sometimes I would take a knock and do a local campaign rather than doing an international campaign, because it doesn't help me doing international campaigns other than the money. I don't get people don't know me overseas enough, but if I can get my foot in the door in the South African scene a bit more, I can get more local campaigns. And a great example is Natural Causes, the YouTuber.
Yeah,
he only does international work. He sounds international. He lives in George.
Okay,
but there's no trace of him being South African.
Does he nail the neutral accent?
Very neutral.
Really?
Very neutral. And he only does these big campaigns, bigger than mine, like way bigger. And but he doesn't get any opportunities locally.
That's so interesting.
Because nobody knows him as a South African.
Right.
So he's sort of like he's more international than local.
Yeah.
Great guy, and he's starting to put his foot in the South African scene, trying. But he's like 10 times more successful than me or known than me. But he gets less work than me locally. So I'm trying to get that balance of getting the international work, but also being present so that people know that I'm South African. Because a lot of people don't know me.
Yeah.
Locally. Like, the number of times I ran into somebody, they're like, "You're a YouTuber." Like in South African Valorant
games.
Like, yes,
yeah.
Oh, I never heard of you.
But international might be different.
International, I'll probably get recognized more. Yeah.
So do we need more people on YouTube in SA? Is that also another thing? Like, there's hardly anybody on YouTube here.
We need more support for South African YouTube. Support just for each other, man.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing.
We need more collabs.
The problem with YouTube is it's in a very changing landscape at the moment. So you know about shorts and reels and the very short content. As well. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I go on that shit, I watch for hours.
That's shorts,
It's disgustingly addictive.
It's so addictive.
It is.
But it's changing the way that people consume content, and people cannot watch 15-minute videos anymore.
Long form's getting harder and harder to reach.
Form's getting, and that's a
unless
big
you're
problem.
Jimmy.
Mr. Beast.
But Mr. Beast takes 2 hours worth of content and he turns it into a 9-minute video
with all these crazy cuts that keeps your attention every 3 seconds.
He's got a long reel, but it's very difficult to blow up now with long form content. And I've seen South African content creators, like there's this coloured girl from Mitchell's Plain out there, and she's got like 300,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Nice. Wow.
And she just makes like weird
shorts
content. Yeah. Oh my word, you know what my mommy said? And it's like, holy fuck, that's amazing. I'm sorry, I can flip that switch also. And she was like, and she was just doing, and she's like a youngster. She's like 19.
That's amazing.
Yo, shout out to.
I don't even know what her name was. But
shout out to.
We'll find you. We'll tag you. Like, that's amazing.
It was so impressive because she just did everyday relatable content, and people like.
And it works.
It works.
Yeah.
So fuck that. There's opportunities everywhere. It's just how you want to go about it.
That's cool.
We're in a very strange age now where anyone can be a creator with a phone. Like anyone.
People think they need this.
No.
They need all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You need this. You can just use a phone and you're done, man.
Pretty much. It's insane. I love it.
Guys, the last a message from both of you guys, and end off like any tips or any motivation to both us and the viewers at home.
You take it, Brendon. You take it.
Right?
For content creation. Let's keep it there, I guess.
Just start.
Yeah, just start, I guess. I think if you're thinking about doing content creation, it's you can't really fail in whatever you're doing. So if you create enough content, you need to be. And I think Gary Vee is the one who kind of put this one on the head. Was that if you want to start something, become a media company before you start selling your products or doing your thing. Make so much content around the things you're doing that people can't ignore you. Like, you have to just create as much content as humanly possible. Like, put out as much as you can.
Okay.
So that you can't be ignored. Like, we were talking about how in YouTube you can just keep scrolling and there's just an endless sea of content.
There's endless content, yeah.
So for you to be noticed in that realm, you need to be putting out a lot of content.
Well, I mean, that's true. That is very true. There's a number of YouTubers that I've discovered by just seeing the sheer vastness of the content.
Like, it might not be super, super really good content, but there's so much of it that it can't be ignored anymore.
That's true.
And some people aren't built for content, like certain types of content. You got to keep playing and experimenting to find out what works for you. So just keep on doing it. Wait, hold on. Before we go there, and the next thing is, and I figured this out recently because I'm still very new at this, is that your first couple videos are going to suck.
Oh God, yes.
They're going to be shit. But that's part of the journey.
Yeah.
You have to suck. You cannot be good at something without taking the risk of being shit at it first.
That's true.
You have to. I mean, your couple videos were crap. Your first couple videos, they're going to be shit. But it's part of the process, and enjoy it, because you have to. You just have to just laugh at it and be like, "Ha, that's really bad post," because it's what it is.
Yeah, no, that's true. And,
you're going to get better.
I'm so glad you actually said that, because you've got to be very honest with yourself.
Yeah, self-awareness is really important.
Self-awareness. The thing is, you have to look at yourself and say, if I wasn't me, would I watch me? And I asked myself that question in the very beginning. I was like, I don't want to watch me.
But that's after you filmed and you watch it over.
Yes.
And
yeah. Like, you got to make content, be objective, and look at it and say, shit, dude, like, if I wasn't me, would I sit here for half an hour watching?
Watch that, yeah.
And I didn't want to watch my own content. I was like, this is gross. It's like, my mic was bad and this. And then I was like, wait, maybe I should make it more fun and more interesting and more short. And then I did that, and then I was like, yeah, I guess I could watch that.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness. It's very, very difficult, because people just think that if you throw enough shit at a wall, something will stick. And that's not always the case.
You need to evolve, but you need to actually use all the stuff you've done to watch it and then check to see whether or not it's going to be good.
I'm so glad that we just got to this, because I had a guy named oh God, what's his name now?
You had a guy.
Sorry, I know so many people in there. Anyway, a lot of people reach out to me and ask me for advice on how to do content creation. And I always help people. I will sit for hours talking to them, giving them tips, giving them advice, telling them what I did so that they don't have to discover it themselves. And 99.9999% of them forget and ignore it. And this one guy DM'd me like a year ago. And, well, it was about a year ago.
Yeah, give or take.
And he's like, hey, I made it. And I was like, who are you? And then he showed me screenshots from our old conversation. He's like, oh, you gave me advice like 3 years ago. I'm like, holy shit. And then I looked at his social media, his YouTube, and his YouTube's 3 times bigger than mine.
What?
Now, yeah, he just popped off. And he's like, I just wanted to thank you. And he made a video and he thanked me in his video. And he used all the things I did, but he's a lot more motivated than I am, because he's younger and hungrier. And I'm like a family dude. I just want to make enough money and then just go off the garden. And he just pushed and pushed and pushed, and now he's fucking huge.
That's so cool to hear.
And to hear somebody actually take that advice, and he literally told me, like, he made content and he didn't like it, and he was honest with himself, and he changed it, and he fine-tuned it.
Until you find something, yeah.
And then it just popped. And it's, dude, be honest with yourself, make lots of content, and you will grow. It's that simple. It's the people that are a little bit, not being honest with themselves.
Self-awareness.
They think you can make any content. Why aren't people watching? Because you're kind of fucking boring.
But also, you got to provide value in some way, shape, or form. Before you click that post button or upload button, think to yourself, why would someone want to watch this?
Absolutely. You must also understand that people have very, very limited time nowadays. Like, I have 4 hours a day that I can watch content, for example. There is 1,000 million hours worth of content getting uploaded daily. You have to claim a small piece of someone's attention span. There's a lot of guys that I used to watch that I no longer watch because their value isn't there anymore.
It's not the same, yeah.
There's more funner, more shorter, more entertaining people elsewhere. So
and you don't want to waste your time. Like you said, you've got a short period of time that you can watch. You don't want to waste your time watching something you're not going to enjoy.
My audience now, I've dropped since 2 years ago. I had a bigger audience 2 years ago than I have now.
What changed?
Nothing. I didn't change.
Oh.
There are more entertaining people available.
Okay.
So my audience left me for someone else, and that's fair game. All is fair in love and all, right?
Yeah. I hear you.
But I know for a fact people watch this episode, right?
Damn right they're gonna watch this.
Lots from this episode.
But yeah.
Guys,
Very
Cool.
interesting.
thank you for
No
coming
problem.
out.
We're done.
I really appreciate it.
No problem at all, man.
Mr. Flak?
Can I do that if you don't mind?
You can.
Do I like open handshakes?
I know he doesn't.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
only with me. It's okay.
Only with you.
Yeah.
I should,
Or for your brother.
More for Jared. Yeah. Than me.
Guys, till next time.
Cheers.
Peace.